Every hero in this story pays for their power somehow. Minato's price was supposed to be his life, full stop. No negotiation. Instead of handing his soul to the Shinigami, he found a way to survive, keep breathing, keep his son from growing up an orphan, and just quietly pay for it for every single day after. In this timeline, Minato wins the trade and loses almost everything else instead. Let's get into it. Here's the thing people forget about the Reaper Death Seal. It's a trade, and Minato had seconds. When you're the fastest shinobi alive, seconds stretch further than they should. Instead of offering the Shinigami his soul straight up, he reroutes the damage, absorbs the cost into his own chakra pathways instead of handing over his life outright. Kurama gets split and sealed. Minato survives. But surviving and staying intact turn out to be two very different things, and he's going to be paying for the difference for the rest of his life. Kushina doesn't make it. Having a tailed beast torn out of you was always a death sentence. No version of this story changes that. She goes into Minato's arms, with just enough time left to say what needed to be said, and Minato is left standing in a village on fire, holding a newborn, already understanding that survival isn't the same as winning. The damage catches up fast. His chakra pathways are wrecked beyond repair. Output reduced to a fraction of what it used to be. The kind of number that would barely clear a Chunin exam. So he does the only responsible thing left. He walks into Hiruzen's office and resigns as Hokage. Not out of grief, though he's still grieving. He resigns because a Hokage who can't fight at an elite level is a liability the village can't afford. And Minato has never once lied to himself about hard truths. Hiruzen takes the title back. The village watches its greatest hero quietly disappear from the spotlight, and nobody gets told exactly why. Some people in the village understand what happened. Some pity him, and some, quietly, in ways they'd never say out loud, resent the newborn for it. Minato handed over his career, his health, and whatever future he might have had in exchange for a baby's heartbeat. And everyone can see the trade even if nobody wants to name it directly. That resentment never turns into canon-style open hatred, but it settles into something thornier. Forced respect on the surface, complicated feelings underneath. Minato doesn't have the bandwidth to manage everyone else's feelings about it though. He's got a son to raise alone, so he raises him loud. Kushina is never a closed subject in that house. She's in the stories at bedtime, in the photographs kept at eye level so Naruto never forgets her face, in the way Minato describes her stubbornness, her volume, her refusal to let anything stay broken if she could get her hands on it. Naruto absorbs all of it without even trying. The refusal to quit, the oversized heart, the instinct to run toward people who are hurting instead of away. Minato notices it every single day, and it wrecks him and heals him in the same breath. He tells Naruto about Kurama early. No softened village-approved version, no waiting for some magic age of readiness. He sits him down young and lays it all out. What the fox is, what happened that night, why Naruto specifically. He also tells him what the sealing cost him, and tells him he'd make that same choice again without blinking. Training starts just as early. Minato can't demonstrate raw power anymore. His chakra won't allow it, but his mind is still the most dangerous weapon he ever had. He drills Fuinjutsu fundamentals, most Jonin never fully grasp. He obsesses over chakra control until Naruto slowly starts to actually get it. He lays the theoretical groundwork for the Flying Thunder God years before Naruto is ready for the real technique. Just the spatial logic, the way you have to think about distance and time as one problem. Naruto becomes his father's best student purely by being his only one. Inside the seal, something shifts too. A kid who grows up knowing exactly what's sealed in him, without shame or fear baked into the knowledge, gives Kurama a lot less to hold on to. Minato had embedded chakra imprints into the seal itself the night of the attack. Quiet failsafes meant to let Naruto eventually talk to the fox safely, and that partnership starts developing years ahead of schedule. It isn't instant. Kurama is ancient, bitter, and has centuries of very good reasons not to trust anything human. But Naruto approaches him with the same stubborn, patient energy he brings to everything, and eventually, the fox admits that this one might actually be different. That moment quietly becomes the seed of everything that comes later. At the academy, the results are obvious. Naruto isn't dead last, isn't the class clown burning energy for attention. He's genuinely sharp, particularly in chakra control and reading a room. But he carries a chip on his shoulder that confuses his instructors, since his life looks charmed on paper. What they're missing is that everywhere Naruto goes, people see either the 4th Hokage's son or the Jinchuriki, never just Naruto. That need to be seen as himself becomes the exact fire that pushes him harder than any comfortable childhood ever could. Team placements land on him with Team 7 Sasuke and Sakura under Kakashi, and here the story stops resembling canon. Sasuke accepts Team 7 to be more of the same top-of-every-room dominance. Instead, he finds Naruto, trained since childhood by the 4th Hokage himself, with zero intention of stepping aside. Sasuke is driven by it in ways he won't admit. Naruto is driven by it in ways he announces constantly. Kakashi watches the two of them and quietly figures out this team is either going to be legendary or a disaster. The years pass, missions pile up, and Naruto keeps climbing. Minato's technical foundation stacked on top of a steadily deepening partnership with Kurama, producing results people don't fully understand because they never saw the work behind it. But underneath it all, the other thing keeps happening too. Minato's health is failing, and by the time Naruto hits his early teens, there's no more pretending otherwise. Minato sits him down and finally says it plainly. The ceiling didn't just hurt him that one night, it's been breaking him down ever since, quietly, without pause, and there's no fixing it. He tells Naruto exactly how much time that leaves him, same directness he's always used, and he tells him, without hesitation, that he'd do it all again. Naruto doesn't say much after that. He just starts training harder than he ever has. He's going to become everything his father spent his health building, and do it while Minato's still around to see it. That becomes the only deadline that matters to him. The Chunin exams roll in, and Naruto's fight with Neji turns into one of the most talked about matches of the year. Not for the outcome, but for what it represents. Neji brings his philosophy of fixed fate into the ring against a kid raised watching his father refuse to accept limitations as final. The fight tips when Naruto opens Kurama's chakra deliberately instead of desperately, overwhelming Neji's gentle fist with sheer refusal to stay down. In the stands, Minato doesn't say a word the whole match. When it's over, he's just smiling. When Sasuke defects, Minato shows up to the retrieval effort, not to fight, but to plan. Mapping Orochimaru's routes and reading Sasuke's psychology with precision no Jonin present can match. They still don't bring him back, but Sasuke leaves knowing Naruto's father threw everything he had left into that chase, and it sits unresolved in his chest for years. Minato doesn't make it to the war. The debt from that modified ceiling calls itself quietly. At home, Naruto beside him. In his last days, he tells him the stories he'd saved, why he believed from the first second that this was the child of prophecy, and that becoming Hokage was never the point. Becoming someone who made the world better just by existing was. Then he closes his eyes, and doesn't open them again. Naruto walks into the war carrying his father's last words like armor, and the war is where everything Minato spent his shortened life building finally gets tested at full scale. Flying Thunder God flashes start appearing in Naruto's arsenal, pulling gasps out of veteran shinobi who recognize exactly what they're witnessing. Kurama's chakra runs through him seamlessly now, partnered instead of forced. He's not the single most powerful person on the battlefield in raw numbers, but against an army built from reanimated shinobi, he beats powerful every time. And Naruto is the most complete weapon out there. He moves through the fight like a problem that keeps reappearing somewhere new, teleporting beside allies about to get overwhelmed, unraveling enemy jutsu mid-formation, an engine of chakra that simply doesn't run dry at the rate everyone else does. Then Kabuto's Edo Tensei brings Minato back, and Naruto has to fight his own father, fully reanimated, fighting without choice, moving with the speed and precision the illness had stolen from him years earlier. Every technique is one he taught Naruto personally. Every flash of the Flying Thunder God is a memory from some ordinary afternoon in their backyard. Naruto has to talk him free instead of fighting him down, reciting Kushina's stories back to him mid-battle, refusing to let the jutsu's compulsion be the only voice left in his father's head. It's enough. In the half-second gap where Minato's own will breaks through, Naruto drives the seal into the ground and disrupts the anchor. Before the dissolve finishes, Minato looks at his son one last time and tells him he did well. Naruto tells him he learned from the best. The war ends the way it has to, through sacrifice and connection and everyone pulling together against something that nearly finished them. And when the dust settles, Naruto becomes the 7th Hokage, carrying a father's unfinished second chance all the way to the end. So that's the world where Minato cheats death and actually gets to raise his son. Stronger Naruto, healthier Team 7, a father who finally gets to see his kid become everything he sacrificed his body for. But what if it wasn't Minato who raised him? What if Naruto was raised by Orochimaru and became bad? That's what we're gonna cover next, so subscribe if you don't want to miss it.